What have I become? My sweetest friend.
Well, good evening, everyone. This is Mel here, Sneakers Corner. Hello to Dragon and to Erkin and anyone else who has joined us. We've got a new guest today. I'm really excited to introduce you to him, Ibn-e-Maryam. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Welcome, Ibn.
Thank you so much, Mel. Thank you so much.
So, Ibn has actually done us all a great favor. He's translated the passages in the Sana manuscript and analyzed whether there were any changes from the Sana to the Cairo edition. But maybe you could tell the audience a little bit about yourself. You were born a Muslim?
Yes, I am a born Muslim. As of social identity, still I am a Muslim. But itself, I have done critical analysis of Islam itself, Quran, and its prophetic arguments, coherence with the Bible itself. I have traveled myself to different areas which relates to the origins of Islam within Arabia and outside. I have explored much of the trade routes, ancient trade routes of Arabia, and after exploring all of them and studying Quran for you can say 15 to 17 years, then I reached a kind of a conclusion that whatever the historicity is there being taught to us and expected from us to believe in straight away, so most of it is incorrect. So that made me like in a state of being non-convinced with the religion itself, especially in terms of Abrahamic lineage and its geographical issues. So after that, I started to follow. I started to search like more refined historians like Mel, and I found a lot of content over there as well. So I started following Speaker's Corner as well, and just trying to add some value in it wherever I can. So about my travel history, whatever I have done for the origins of Islam, that is a long, I would say, a content. I have explored the area of Midian. I have explored the area of Tema, Al-Higra and Tabuk, Yathrib itself, and present-day Makkah as well. And I have studied that all along with the trade routes, which are officially issued by the Saudi Arabia as well. So that made me believe that something is ongoing totally different with compared to what we are told. And about even the biography of the Prophet Muhammad himself, I would say that when you read the history, when you read the hadith, and when you read the Quran, so it seems like you're talking about three different persons. You're not talking about one person. And when I was exploring the rock inscriptions for Abraha in Arabia, whatever we find it, so from that point, I just figured out that there is a lag, I would say, or difference in the timeline of Islamic history as of 18 years, I would say, because we are told that Prophet was born in the Amul Fil. So Amul Fil, it corresponds to 552 AD instead of 571. So surprisingly, the date of death of the Prophet, it like overlaps with the date of death for Ibn Qabisa. So that really made me a bit suspicious about these things. So I explored the eastern area as well, and I found the signs of Christianity over there in the Banu Lakhmid area, the ancient one, that the earliest Christianity and earliest church were there. And if you read the Quran itself, I would say that it was initially aligned with the Christianity, much of it, but then they started to deviate from that one. So on that argument basis, I just figured out that what we are told in the history, that they were facing towards Jerusalem, and then they started facing towards the present day Mecca. So on ground realities were different from that. So in the present day, even the Masjid al Qiblatain as well, I could found three Qiblas instead of two. One is towards Iraq, one is towards the present day Mecca, and one points towards the locality of Ad and Samud, which Dan Gibson has pointed as well. So I found the evidences of three Qiblas in that mosque. So they keep on going constant renovations. So that's why the things get under concealed under the renovation, so we cannot figure out with the passage of time. But since I have seen it for a long time even, so that's why I just came to the conclusion the historicity has some serious issues. So this is a bit about my journey. So
Yeah.
when I think about sorry, when I see about these slides which Mel shared about the Cairo editions, so I was just thinking that I can add value in that I can compare all these passages. That sometimes they do make a difference, sometimes they do not make a difference, but still, the perfect preservation of Quran, I would say this is a point of view that has developed for the last 400 to 500 years. If you go back in the history, so I would say that none of the companions of Prophet claimed as a perfect preservation.
Yeah.
None of the historians has ever claimed that one. And if even you go to the commentaries, earlier commentaries like Qurtubi and Ibn Kathir, they mention very clearly that what we are talking about Quran, we have to first make corrections in many of the verses before we take interpretations.
Yeah.
So they were
It
also
seems.
not believing in perfect preservation.
Yeah. It seems
So
like it's an apologetic really that has developed 400 years
uh,
ago.
yes, exactly. Kind of in a comparison with the Bible and all those things.
Yeah.
And since my childhood, I was taught that the Bible is distorted and we are not supposed to read that one. Torah is distorted and we are not supposed to read about that one. But I would say that Quran itself pushed me towards Bible, because I can see within Quran that Prophet Muhammad, he is making decisions based on Torah. So if it is that is distorted, then why a prophet is not aware of this thing? So Quran itself says that the Bible is not distorted. So that's why I started to study Bible, and I would compare it with the Arabic Bible as well, just to see the how arguments are moving in that. So
Excellent.
this is a bit brief about myself. So I'm familiar with the Arabic language, though I'm not native, but I'm well familiar with Arabic language, and I can make a difference with the changing, substituting the words, that how they are going to change the sense of the sentences itself. So in today's discussion, we will going through the 61 slides, which Mel prepared, and I just assisted him to just translate the passages. So that's about me.
Fantastic. See, there we go. Okay, so I'm handing it over to you, really. If you'd like to talk us through. So you've done the translations first, and a big thank you from both myself and everyone, really, because we all benefit from your work. So
You're
thank you
welcome.
so much.
You are welcome. You're welcome. So for the first slide, if you can just click it, we can keep on with
Yeah.
it.
Can you see it
Okay.
there? Yeah.
So yes, I can. I have opened on my end as well. So the number one slide, the Sana palimpsest, it says in the verse number 288, it said bizulmihim, bizulmihim. But in the Cairo edition, it says bikufrihim. So here, first of all, as of the root word, the word zulm corresponds to being some unjustified behavior. So it is not exactly corresponding to kufr, because kufr means a straight away denial of something. So fine, it
Hmm.
can be ideology, it can be anything. Bi kufrihim, bi zulmihim, it only means like unjustified behavior. Even in the Quran itself, it says a supplication of Adam saying, "Rabbana zalamna anfusana, illam taghfir lana wa tarhamna lanakunanna min al-khasirin." So Adam himself says that we have done some unjustified behavior. So unjustified behavior can be done by a Muslim as well. It can be done by a believer as well. By the kuffar, it's something totally different. So I would say in the typical verse 288, so Cairo edition text is more suitable in the context comparative to Sana text. The Sana text is not correct here.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go to the second one.
Yeah.
So
There we go.
yeah, 290. So it is only it only mentions some kind of only stress, like how rest is that bisama or fa bisama. The word fa, when you are adding up in any Arabic sentence, so it add is like it's like making a conclusion of something.
Yeah.
When you are describing something, and then it says when you add the word fa. So it means that all of the things which you have described in the previous one, so you are now making a conclusion in that. So overall argument does not changes much, only the emphasis is a little bit changed. So still I would say Cairo edition text is more suitable in the context comparative to Sana,
Okay.
because it's a start of the sentence. It's a start of the sentence, so it should not be adding up with the word fa. It should come within a sentence, just making a conclusion about something. So
Yeah.
Cairo edition is a little bit better here, but overall
Yes.
argument remains the same.
So essentially they fixed something that didn't quite sound right. It didn't make any
Correct.
massive difference. Yeah. Okay, we're on
Correct.
to slide 3 there.
Okay, so for the third slide, it says بغيا أن ينزل الله من فضله. So through their outrage against what Allah would send down. And here it added up a word of adwan, بغيا وعدوان أن ينزل الله. So still I would say the perfect preservation, it gets debunked, but still arguments is not changed much with that one, because uh, adwan is still corresponds to the word being rebellious. So if you even delete the word adwan, so it makes like the same sense. So
Yeah.
I would say that Cairo edition text is more suitable, because sometimes you are using the words in Arabic when you are using the words wow. When you say va, baghiyan wa adwan ay yunazzilallah. So when you are saying baghiyan, so it already describes the meaning of the word. So there is no need to add adwan, because if you are adding wow, so in Arabic it corresponds to the connecting word, like saying that it means that, it says so. So for that thing, only vow does the work by connecting the two words in between.
So it's
So
kind of
that's why.
superfluous, essentially.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So advan is not necessary here in that sense, and so that's why they have deleted that one in the Cairo text.
Excellent.
So 291, it says unzila alayna. Unzila alayna. Okay, fine. Here it changes a lot of things. Here, this is something I would say that in all of the slides, this was something serious. So in this it says unzila alayna, and in Sana palimpsest it says unzila alayna min kutub. So I will read the complete verse for you, so you can understand how the arguments is getting changed.
Yeah.
وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ آمِنُوا بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ قَالُوا نُؤْمِنُ بِمَا أُنزِلَ عَلَيْنَا وَيَكْفُرُونَ بِمَا وَرَاءَهُ. So here Jews are under discussion in this verse. So they are asked that you have to have faith in whatever has been revealed to Prophet Muhammad, and they says that we will not believe in anything else than that what had been given to us before. Fine. So this is the meaning in the Cairo edition. But if you go to Sana palimpsest, so I would say Sana palimpsest, it totally changes the argument here. Here it would make like Jews are saying that we will not accept anything from the Quran that is not in line with what had been given before. So Cairo edition says that Jews are denying the Quran altogether. Sana palimpsest is saying that Jews are denying only the portion that does not align with the previous books.
It seems to
So
me that they reflect different histories as well. You know, the things have moved on, and the separation between the two groups have become greater. So therefore, the Cairo edition makes more sense of the new context, whereas in the Sana, you can still see that they haven't completely fallen out with each other.
in this particular verse, I would say if you see the whole argument, because in chapter second, Jews are under discussion that those are accompanying the Prophet Muhammad, but they are not totally having the full confidence in him that he's a prophet.
Can't hear
And
you.
the same thing, then the argument still on goes in the chapter Nisa, in the chapter 51.
I
The
lost
argument
you.
is still ongoing. Yeah,
Sorry, I
sure.
lost you for the past 30 seconds. So could you just repeat what you had said there? Sorry about that.
It's okay. So I will repeat, like in the Cairo edition, it would say that the Jews are denying the Quran completely, and they are only sticking to what has been revealed before, like Torah and all those stuff. But in Sana Palimpsest, it says that the Jews are objecting that the Quran is deviating from the previous books. So that's why we will accept only that portion of the Quran that is in line with the previous books, and we will leave whatever is beyond that.
Yeah.
But in Cairo edition, it says that Jews are denying the Quran completely. So I would say
Yes.
Cairo edition is clearly incorrect here,
Yeah.
because because if you read the complete chapter 2nd, chapter 4, and chapter 5, so it is more in line with that. Jews, they are not denying that, only they are objecting that few things are there, like the law of Sabbath and all those things, that they are violating the Sharia and the law which had been given before. So if you remove the word min kutub, so it totally changes the argument, and it takes against the Jews, and it conceals the fact that the Quran is deviating from the previous books and criticism is ongoing. So if you delete the word min kutub, so it takes the Quran out of criticism, and it takes the whole burden of blame onto the Jews that they denied the Quran completely. So
Yeah.
that's why I would say that here the Sana palimpsest, that passage makes more sense to me rather than Cairo text. So this one important, and it changes the argument completely.
Fantastic.
So going to the slide number 5, it says Jahadu fi sabilillah, fought in the cause of Allah, and it says Jahadu ma'aka fi sabilihi bi amwalihim wa anfusihim. So in this case, I would say it can change drastically, because if you read in continuation with the verse number 75, let me open that one. So if you read with the continuation, the verse number 5, so Sana text makes it specific that fighting non-believers is specifically only in the presence of Muhammad. But the Cairo text, it makes generalize the fighting even after the Prophet himself. So Sana text does not allow you to fight now, but the Cairo text, it allows you to still fight. So Cairo text is more aligned with the rest of all Quranic argument, because it says at some other locations as well that the fight and jihad, it should be ongoing after the life of Muhammad as well. It says very specifically that this is a punishment for them. We will show part of the punishment in the life of Muhammad and part of it after the life of Muhammad. So Cairo edition, I would say that is more aligned with the whole argument of the Quran itself. And Sana palimpsest here, it destroys the complete other arguments and create a contradiction. So that's why I feel that they have corrected the verses here.
Yeah, yeah. And it seems that the move in the Cairo edition is to universalize what was thought of as just very specific. So that's a very interesting change in that. Thank you.
Yeah. So number 6, it's a Cairo edition. It says nothing and La taqul bismillah. So I would say that about the chapter 9. 1 minute.
Yeah,
For this one, it seems like it does not seem to be a verse itself, but as an explanatory note, because with all the Qurans, I have checked it, even in the Arabia as well, they have issued 8 Qurans officially. So I have checked all of them. So the word Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, it is not there on the chapter 9. So I would see that there is not much issue with that, because it's kind of an note of an explanation that do not say Bismillah here.
Yeah.
So it seems to be an explanation, not a verse itself.
Yeah, it's like a margin, a note in the margin kind of thing.
Yes, you can say.
Yeah. Okay.
And number 7, so Cairo edition, it says wa'lamu annakum, and the Sana palimpsest says wa'lamu annahum. So it only changes like from the third person, like know that you plural cannot cause failure to Allah, and it says know that they cannot cause failure to Allah. So overall argument does not change, but to me Sana text makes more sense in the context of discussion, because if you look at to whom Quran is now addressing, so Quran is addressing the Muslims. It is not talking to the non-Muslims. So third person will make more sense. Like it's talking to Muslims, then know that they, the non-believers, they cannot cause failure to Allah. So Cairo edition does not seem grammatically correct.
Yeah.
So
That's,
Sana text makes more sense to me because of to whom you are talking. Okay, so in the very same verse, it says, وَعْلَمُوا أَنَّكُمْ غَيْرُ مُعْجِزِ اللَّهِ, cannot cause failure to Allah. And it says, غَيْرُ مُعْجِزِ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. So overall argument does not change, but Sana text makes more sense, uh, because it will make it specifically that the prophet himself is fighting and he cannot be defeated, and this is a part of the argument itself, and it appears in the Quran again and again. So Sana, a palimpsest, I would say it is a better articulation of the argument itself, but overall things does not change much, but Sana palimpsest seems correct here, Cairo is not correct here.
excellent.
In the 9-8, uh, on the slide number 9 we are. So كيف وإن يظهروا عليكم لا يركبوا فيكم. So how can there be a treaty while if they gain dominance over you, they do not observe concerning you any pact of kinship. And in Son of Palimpsest, it says, and how they can gain dominance over you and they do not observe concerning you any pact of kinship. I would say that here, because the word va has been added in before, and in Cairo text it has been taken after that. Argument does not changes at all. It tends to change, but grammatically I would say Cairo text is better here, in my opinion. Cairo text is better. Sana Polim says no, if you will put wow before that one, so it will change the sense of the sentence altogether.
Yeah.
So slide number 10, in the same verse, in the same bi afwahihim wataba qulubuhum, they satisfy you with their mouths, they satisfy you with their tongues. Overall argument does not change, but in specific context, I would say Sana text makes more sense and relevance in alignment with other portions of the Quran, such as the same thing appears in the other verses as well, which I have mentioned here, 48:11 and 62. So, so al-sinatihim, that means because of their tongues. So it makes more sense. It makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because here it's not talking about like spreading rumors or something. It's talking about like they are saying something directly to the prophet to satisfy him, but Quran is saying that they are not trustworthy, they are dishonest. So alsinatihim, that with their tongues, that makes more sense, and it appears again as well in 48:11 and 62. So I would tend to agree with Sana palimpsest here comparative to the Cairo edition.
That's good.
So
Thank
number 11, chapter 9 and 9. Okay. It says, بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ ثَمَنًا قَلِيلًا بِاللَّهِ وَأَيْمَانُهُمْ. Okay. So here it says they have promised the signs of Allah for a negligible benefit. But in Sana palimpsest, it says they have compromised on their oaths and promises with Allah for a negligible benefits. So argument does not change here as well, but keeping in view 377, I have made reference here to another portion of the Quran, chapter 377. So Sana text makes more sense and coherence with the rest of the Quran because uh, it says the oaths and the promises with Allah. So it is more in line with 377 as well. So you can later confirm it with this verses as well, that it more relates to, it tends to agree with the rest of the Quran, tends to agree with Sana palimpsest rather than the Cairo edition. But
Excellent.
overall things does not turn the table.
Yeah.
So in 9:9 in the same verse, it says sabilihi, like averted from his way, and is averted from Allah's way. So overall argument still does not change. However, Cairo text is grammatically preferable because for a good articulation of the sentence, we always avoid repetition of the sentence. Rather, we use in Arabic which is called a zamir, like sabili he. So the zamir of he, it goes back to the word of Allah, which is already mentioned in the verse itself. Ishtaru bi ayatillahi samanan qalila fasaddu an sabilihi. So grammatically, Cairo addition is makes more sense, but the Sanam palimpsest it will become ishtaru bi ayatillahi samanan qalilan fasaddu an sabilillah. So I would say that this is not a good sentence because you don't have to repeat the word Allah in the same sentence without any reason. So Cairo addition is a better version.
Yeah.
So 9:11 it says وَنُفَصِّلُ الْآيَاتِ لِقَوْمٍ يَعْلَمُونَ. We, Allah, detail the verses for people who know. So it says يُفَصِّلُ الْآيَاتِ. He, Allah, details the verses for people who know. So in this verse, Son of Olam says the word Allah Himself, He is mentioned as a third person. So overall argument does not changes. However, Cairo text is grammatically preferable, as Allah should be in first person, not in third person.
Yeah.
If it is Allah's word, so He should be in the first person. Why He will mention Himself as a third person? So Allah is not supposed to be mentioned Himself as a third person. So I will tend to agree with Cairo addition from Arabic point of view. Nufassilul ayat is a better word.
It's interesting that having made this change, that they weren't consistent and changed all instances where they used the wrong pronoun. You know,
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And in some cases, like in chapter 48, verse number 9 and 8, it makes this thing so much drastically incorrect that it seems like there are two prophets instead of one.
Yeah.
So it makes one of two prophets out of one. So that's why if you go to the commentaries of Tabari, so they have to correct all the pronouns before they do tafsir for that. So
Yeah.
at some instant, I was having doubt that Quran has been revealed to two persons, not one, because here two persons are being mentioned. So these issues are there. This inconsistency are there throughout the Quran.
Yeah.
So it says, Allah tuqatiluna qawman. Would you not fight the nation? And it says, وَمَا لَكُمْ أَلَا تُقَاتِلُونَ قَوْمًا. What happened to you? Would you not fight the nation? So overall, the argument does not change. However, additional words in Sana text adds emphasis onto the commandment.
Yeah.
So, but overall, it remains the same. But yes, it changes the emphasis on the commandment, and how far it is being stressed out.
Yeah.
So it says 19 settings. We are on the slide 15. So نكثوا أيمانهم وهموا بإخراج رسول وهم بدأكم أول مرة. In Cairo edition, it says, who broke their oaths and determined to expel the messenger, and they had begun the attack upon you the first time. In Sana palimpsest, it says, I have highlighted the same passages what you mentioned, that they were raised in the lower text. So who broke their oaths and determined to expel the messenger, and they had begun the attack upon you first time. So the remarks, if you go to the next slide, I have added remarks over there. The verse 1913 is extremely important in terms of argument. Muslims claim that the first battles were defensive, whereas from the trade routes, it is very clear because I've traveled myself on that as well, explored them. So from the trade route, it is clear that it was offensive to attack the caravans traveling from north to south. So Yathrib itself on a strategic location, and the first battle of Badr took place. So I would say that it needs some more investigation to figure out the intentions of distortion in the verse itself, because they are in the these text. It is being altered that who attacked and who initiated the attacks. So
So,
it changes the argument by
so,
deleting few of the words here.
so just to clarify, so you're saying that the Cairo edition is removing the sense in which it was offensive and turning it into more defensive. Is that right?
Yes, exactly. It gives the same impression, because if there is some correction, sometimes the correction is just a scribal correction, but sometimes it happens like if the argument is changing. So I always cross check that what is the argument really important. So I always find that yes, the argument really important which is being changed here, like as we discussed about the Jews and here as well. So it is not like it is only a scribal error coming here. Here the argument is trying to be distorted because a single word, it changes the complete sense of that.
Excellent.
So in Cairo edition, it says that no, it was only offensive because they were the one to start the battles and all those things. But if you look at the geography as well, so I would not agree with that, that it was defensive. It was quite offensive to attack their caravans. That's why the incident of Badr and other things happened.
Yeah.
So 914, so on the slide 16 we are now. Wayashfi Sudura, and it says va, and punish him singular and satisfy the chest. So it here it says like it changes completely, I would say, in the grammatical sense. In Cairo edition, it says and satisfy the feelings, like Yashfi Sudura, like their chest, their hearts are now at ease. And in the Sana poem says it adds the words of punishing him. So I would say that I could not identify first that that word which is added here, Ghaiza Suduri. That why, how you can fix that word over here? So it seems like a wrong in the grammatical sense. Ghaiza, it means anger, but in the sentence it is not identifiable. I cannot identify that how the word Ghaiza it is added in the palimpsest, Sana palimpsest. So I would say you can seek more opinions on this word, that how they are inserting the word ghaiza in this one, because you can I could not translate even that how you can make sense of the word here.
Yeah.
But so Cairo text, I would say that it is corrected one, because punishment is for a nation and thus sentence must address the plural. It should not be singular. Otherwise it becomes if you're changing it from singular to plural, so it means like if you are making a target killing or you are doing an assassination for someone. So in the Cairo edition it will be like it's not a like a political assassination, rather than it's a battle. So singular is changing into plural, so it changes the argument as well. But the word ghaiza, because of this I was not able to align exactly that why they have changed this thing. But singular turns plural, it changes the argument altogether.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good.
Number 17, so 916 was hasibtum and afa hasibtum. So do you think that you will be, or so had you thought that you will be? Overall argument does not change. However, grammatically, I would tend to incline about the Cairo text, which makes more sense in the uh, overall specific content. In the same, it says jahadu minkum fi sabilihi. So those among you who fight, those among you who fight in his way. So overall, I would say argument does not change. Both sentences are correct grammatically as well. But however, Sana text is a better articulation, I would say, because
Okay.
as in terms of articulating a sentence, Sana one is better one.
Okay.
Number 19. slide number 19 we are, chapter 19, verse number 17. Ulaika habitat a'maluhum. So it says, for those their deeds have become worthless. And Sana Poem says, it says, Ulaika ladaina habitat a'maluhum fi dunya wal akhirah. So it's only adding few explanation to the sentence, like, for those their deeds which we have with us have become worthless in this world and life after that. So overall remarks, I would say that argument does not changes much. However, in the specific context, Cairo text make better sense and better articulation of the sentence itself.
Can I just check with you, because in the slide, in this world and life after death comes under the Sana, not under the Cairo. So
Yes.
is that correct?
It is correct. It is correct. Yeah. But overall, if you see the sentence, it says, if you read the complete verse, it says, وَمَا كَانَ لِلْمُشْرِكِينَ أَنْ يَعْمُرُوا مَسَاجِدَ اللَّهِ شَاهِدِينَ عَلَى أَنفُسِهِمْ بِالْكُفْرِ أُولَٰئِكَ حَبِطَتْ أَعْمَالُهُمْ وَفِي النَّارِ هُمْ خَالِدُونَ. So the next, there is a portion of the verse which says, وَفِي النَّارِ هُمْ خَالِدُونَ. So if the word is there, وَفِي النَّارِ هُمْ خَالِدُونَ, so this فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ, this all things are not required. That's why I would say the Cairo edition is a better one. So they have deleted the additional words that does not make the sentence appear beautiful, or you can say a better version.
Yeah, okay.
That's my point there. Yeah. So now we are the slide number 20, 1980. Okay. وَأَقَامَ الصَّلَاةَ وَآتَى الزَّكَاةَ وَلَمْ يَخْشَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. And in the Sana poem says, Jahid fi sabili wa lam yakhsha illallah. So Cairo edition says, those who believe in Allah and the last day and establish prayer and give zakat, they do not fear except Allah. So in Sana poem says, those who strive, who fight in the way of Allah and do not fear. So I would say they are two different, completely different sentences. Wow. So Cairo text is altogether a re-articulation of the Sana text. So I would say it's a very clear case of distortion. It's a totally different word, I would say. Totally different sentence. It's not only about grammar or something else. It's a totally different sentence. They are saying those who fight in the way of Allah and do not fear except Allah. It says those who believe in Allah and the last day and the prayers and the zakat and do not. So Cairo edition is having a lot more than the Sana poem says. Absolutely, so it's a total re-articulation of the whole sentence. It's not about few changes. So slide number 21. It says al-muhtadun. Sana poem says al-muflihun. So here I would say it says those will be among the rightly guided. Those will be among the successful ones. Here I would say that the word muhtadun is used in several senses in the Quran itself. It can be translated as being guided. It can be translated as being successful. It can be translated as being consistent on a specific path. So in these three senses, Quran is used the word muhtadun. So that's why I would say the overall meaning does not change. It is just substituting the word. The word muhtad is used in terms of reaching destination as well. So muflihun, it can be as a synonym for the muhtadin. So it's a choice of word by the reciter himself. It's not about changing argument. It's not about some scribal error. It is only on the choice of the reciter that he want to recite it muflihun instead of muflihin instead of muhtadin. Yeah, so excellent. It will not make difference. So slide 22. Chapter 9, verse 19, Jahada wa jahadu. So it says strive in the cause of Allah, strive in the cause of Allah. So it would say that in terms of translation, you cannot find changing the what you can say the sense altogether. But I would say the Sana text, if someone is reading in the Arabic itself, so Sana text is more coherent with the rest of the Quran because it appears always the word jahadu, not jahada. So I don't know why they have changed it to jahada, but in all other verses as well, if you see, so they are using the word jahadu, but the sense almost more or less is remains the same in the specific context.
Yeah.
So slide number 23. So chapter 9, verse number 23. It says, Aba'akum wa ikhwanakum. And it says, La aba'akum wa la ikhwanakum. So do not take your fathers or your brothers as allies. And it says, neither take your fathers nor your brothers as allies. So overall, I would say that grammatically, Cairo text is a better one. They have just re-articulated that one. So Sana one, I would say it is indeed incorrect. Sana is incorrect. They have made correction in the Cairo text here.
So would
But
you
it
say
was
that?
Yep.
So would you say the Sana manuscript here, it sounds wrong to your ear grammatically? Does it sound?
Yes, it sounds like incorrect.
Yeah, it's surprising
It is because otherwise it will become Ya ayyuhallazina amanu la tattakhizu la aba'akum wa la ikhwanakum awliya in astahabbu al-kufra ala al-iman. So in this whole sentence, I would say Sana palimpsest passage you cannot fit in. So you have to remove that word la, and then you have to re-articulate Ya ayyuhallazina amanu la tattakhizu. So the word la has been used before as well, before tattakhizu. So that's why it is not required to be repeated again. It will become grammatically wrong. So it says la tattakhizu aba'ukum wa ikhwanukum. So do not take your fathers or your brothers as an ally. So it makes more sense the Cairo edition rather than Sana palimpsest in the whole sentence of the verse itself.
Yeah.
Number 24, chapter 9, verse 24. It says, Wallahi inna Allahi. Argument does not change, but Sana text is having some more emphasis than the Cairo one. So argument overall does not change, because if you are adding the words inna, so it is adding some emphasis on that. That's the only thing. So reciter, I think he becomes emotional sometimes. He is adding some more emphasis on that. Rest, there is no need for that. So that's why they just bring it down to Inna Allah to Allah.
They tone that one down.
Yes, tone down. Exactly. So slide number 25, 973, the Jahannam and An-Nar. It says, Ya ayyuhan nabi jahidil kuffara wal munafiqina waghluz alayhim wa ma'wahum jahannama wa bi'sal masir. Here it says there are different words. Those are used in Arabic to make some emphasis on the punishment. Sometimes it simply says Jahannam. Sometimes it says An-Nar. Sometimes it says Harik. So in Arabic, Harik is the word used for a bigger level of fire, like a pool fire. It is called Harik. And An-Nar, it will be like a lesser intensity than the Harik. So sometimes it says Nari Jahannam. So it says that they are in some upper level of the Jahannam. And sometimes it says it is Azabul Harik. So that makes the punishment more severe. So Jahannam, I would say it has both sections, An-Nar or Al-Harik. So that's why here in Sana palimpsest, it was a relatively small fire. But in Cairo edition, it was made like as a comprehension. It was the degree of the punishment. It is concealed, and it is only said that they are in the Jahannam.
Yeah.
So that's why also argument does change a little bit in terms of the degree of the punishment. But Cairo text, I would say it makes more sense, because in this whole scenario, like it's talking about hypocrites or you're talking about the one who are kuffar, so it does not make sense to declare that what sort of punishment they are going to get, rather than if you say that it is only a hell. So it makes more sense rather than specifying here that it is nar or it is harik. If we'll talk about some specific group of people, they have done so and so and so, then it specifies that it is nar or it is al-harik. So the word Jahannam in the Cairo text, I would say it's a better option in the context of the verse itself.
Lost you there.
I will repeat that in Cairo edition on the slide 25. The word Jahannam is used instead of nar. It is substituted word. So I would say there does not seems to be some intention to change the argument, but it seems like selection of the reciter himself that he's choosing the word nar instead of Jahannam. But overall, Jahannam makes more sense in the whole sentence rather than specifying a nar, because you're talking about a large group of kuffar and the hypocrites and the deniers and the disbelievers. So Cairo edition, I would say it's a more comprehensive statement rather than the Sana palimpsest. But it seems like choice of the reciter, but it changes the sense of the sentence a little bit, not much. Slide number 26, and we are talking about verse number 74 of the chapter 974. It says yuhlifun, and Sana palimpsest says yuqsimun. So I would say that in this whole scenario, the verse is mentioned here. The word yuhlifun is like taking an oath or a pledge or that kind of sense. That seems more like you can say in the term of like a formal thing, like a tribe is coming to you and he's taking an oath, he's taking a pledge and something like that. But Sana palimpsest says yuqsimun, like they are swearing about that was by, like, we swear upon Allah, we haven't done this, we swear upon so and so. So overall argument does not change, but Sana text, I would say that it makes more sense in the context comparative to the Cairo one. And here as well, I can see that it is just a choice of the reciter himself. It does not seems to be like intentions, like I have mentioned few verses in which the argument is being distorted. But here it seems like choice of the reciter. He is just substituting the word whichever he likes.
So a synonym is used, and this would indicate, I would think that it's because it's an oral tradition, and so that you can choose more or less. The gist is more or less the same, just a choice of synonym here.
Yes, exactly. Before in the study of hadith, there are some narrations which says that Prophet Muhammad, he was asked about to substitute the word itself. That can we do that? So at that moment when we were studying the hadith with the assumption that there is only one Quran and that is miraculously preserved, so we considered that these hadiths should be should be wrong itself. So at that point, we used to think that the hadith is wrong and the Quran itself is correct. But when I look on the ground reality, so I would say that those hadiths are correct itself, because Prophet Muhammad, he was asked about substituting the word. That can we do that, and he allowed that thing. And many of the companions of the Prophet, they were quite uncomfortable about that fact, including Omar ibn al-Khattab as well, when he discussed that can we substitute the word. So Prophet Muhammad says that yes, you can. And he was quite upset with that fact that if it is the words of Allah, then how you're going to substitute the words itself. So these debates are there in the hadith itself, and I would say that those things are correct, because on ground we can see that the reciters, they are choosing the words as per their convenience. They are substituting it, keeping in view that the meaning does not get changed a lot more. So that thing I can see on ground, it's happening. So in 976, slide number 27, it says, فَلَمَّا أَتَاهُمْ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ بَخِلُوا بِهِ وَتَوَلَّى وَهُمْ مُعْرِضُونَ. So it says they are given bounties. And in the Sana palimpsest, it says Allah has given them out of his bounties. So again, it is articulation by the reciter himself. It does not seems to be intending to change something, but it seems like a choice of the reciter himself. This not falls under the category of correction. It falls under the category of opting the words on your own. So slide number 28. 979 in the Quran we are talking about. So it says, they ridicule those who find nothing to give except their own efforts, so God ridicules them. فَيَسْخَرُونَ مِنْهُمْ سَخِرَ اللَّهُ مِنْهُمْ. In Sana palimpsest, it says, he ridicules those who find nothing to accept their own efforts. God ridicules them. So overall, I would say the Sana text grammatically seems incorrect. So Cairo edition is corrected one. So in Cairo edition, I think they have made the what you call it, the grammatical correction, because
Yeah.
Fayaskuru, it makes like they're talking some single person, one to one, but here it is Fayaskharuna minhum. So in the whole sentence, grammatically Cairo text is a corrected version. Sana Palimpsest has grammatical error here. So it is a matter of correcting the verse.
Yeah, it looks better in the Cairo, definitely. You
Yes,
have to
Cairo. Yes,
they and them fit together, not he and them. Yeah. Excellent.
exactly. Exactly. So in the Quran 980, it says, فَلَنْ يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَهُمْ 70 مرة فلن يغفر الله ذلك بأنهم كفروا بالله ورسوله والله لا يهدي القوم الفاسقين. God will not forgive them. That is because they disbelieved in God and His Messenger. God does not guide the immoral people. In Sana palimpsest, it says, God will not forgive them. He does not guide the immoral people. So overall, I would say that Cairo text is a totally, completely re-articulated sentence. It's not like it has some details in that.
It's like an extra sentence put into the middle of it, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So they have added in over there things. So that's why I would say that it is a completely re-articulated sentence. It does not even corresponds exactly.
Yeah.
It's not about grammatical. It's not about. It's all the way a re-articulation of the same sentence. It is
Yeah.
a smaller version. It is a bigger version.
Yeah.
So slide number 30. You're talking about now Quran chapter 982. It says yaksibun, and Sana palimpsest it says ya'malun. So meaning of the sentence does not change because it is again the choice of the reciter, whatever he feels okay with. Because if you are doing something or you say that you are earning some deeds, so it's the same thing, but it is an alternative word that has been opted by the reciter as per his own choice. But meaning does not change. Like yaksibun or ya'malun in the context, both I would say they are okay. They are okay. They are just synonyms. So slide number 31, we are talking about now Quran chapter 9 verse 83. It says, "Ista'zanuka lil khuruj," and it says, ask your permission to go out, ask your permission in going out. So I would still say that it does not change the meaning much, but I was just thinking in the Quran what I have. So it does not says ista'zanuka lil khuruj. It says fasta'zanuka fil khuruj. The Quran what I have with me for the Hafs Quran. So it is not ista'zanu. It is fasta'zanu. So I'm not sure that the Cairo edition is it misaligned with Hafs as well on this one, or I'm not sure
Yeah.
about this one.
Yeah. Don't know. Yeah, I'll have
Mhm.
to
So I
double check
think
now.
because the Quran, what I have, this verse is not like that. It is a
Oh,
Hafs
okay.
Quran, and it doesn't says ista'zanu. It says fasta'zanu. So the word
Yeah.
fa is in front of this one.
Oh, okay.
So uh, 9125, slide number 32. Let me go to the verse. وأما الذين في قلوبهم مرض فزادتهم رجسا إلى رجسهم وماتهم وهم كافرون. So here I would say Theologically speaking, the meaning of the sentence get changes, and it
Mm.
seems like while the reciter is seeking for some synonyms, so he has picked up something which he feels that it is fits the context, but I would say it does not fits the context, because fasiqun is something else and kafirun is something else. uh, you can understand in that way, like for example, a Muslim, he is doing also see a believer, he is doing some sin which is as per the sin as of theology of Islam, and
Yeah.
he is doing the sin again and again, and he is habitual of that sin. So in the fiqh of Islam, it would be said that this believer is a fasiq. He's doing
Yeah.
something extremely wrong, he is a sinful person,
Yeah.
but it doesn't make him kafir.
Yeah.
So if you are saying that those people are kafirun or those people are fasiqun, so this is something totally different. It changes the sentence on theological basis, I would say.
Wow. That's an important one then. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. So Sana Polim says, I would say is a better one, because in the context, it is saying in the context that people are in under discussions are hypocrites. So they are following something, they are leaving behind some of the things, they are not fully aligned or convinced with Islam. So they can be termed as fasik, they cannot be termed as kafir. So Sana Polim says, I will tend to incline to this sentence that they are fasiqeen as per the Islam, that they are doing the sins again and again and again. So theological differences come here in this one.
Yeah.
So slide 33, the Quran 9:127. Okay, it says, وَإِذَا مَا أُنزِلَتْ سُورَةٌ نَظَرَ بَعْضُهُمْ إِلَى بَعْضٍ هَلْ يَرَاكُم مِّنْ أَحَدٍ ثُمَّ انصَرَفُوا صَرَفَ اللَّهُ قُلُوبَهُمْ بِأَنَّهُمْ قَوْمٌ لَا يَفْقَهُونَ. Allah diverted their hearts. And the other one only, it just added the words fa to just add some more emphasize. فَصَرَفَ اللَّهُ قُلُوبَهُمْ بِأَنَّ قَوْمُهُمْ لَا يَفْقَهُونَ. So logically, I would say here the word fa, now it makes more sense because it comes after describing a scenario. Then it
Mm.
says فَصَرَفَ اللَّهُ قُلُوبُهُمْ. It means like because of what we have described before, because of this reason, Allah has diverted their heart. So Sana Polam says, I would say it makes more sense because diverting the hearts is a result of their own deeds in the sentences itself. So adding the word fa, it makes more sense to let the understand that diverting the heart is a result of something done by the people themselves. So Sana Polam says it makes more sense in this whole verse, I would say. That's my
Yeah.
point of.
Yeah.
Slide number 34. So we are talking about now 9:129. It says La ilaha illa huwa. And Sana Polam says Alladhi la ilaha illa huwa. There is no God except He. He is the one except whom there is no God. Logically, I would say Sana Poland says Sana text is well articulated as of emphasis, because this verse it says فَإِن تَوَلَّى فَقُلْ حَسْبِيَ اللَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا هُوَ عَلَيْهِ تَوَكَّلْتُ وَرَبُّ الْعَرْشِ الْعَظِيمِ. So if I take the Sana palimpsest and put in the Hafs one, it says فَإِن تَوَلَّى فَقُلْ حَسْبِيَ اللَّهُ الَّذِي لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا هُوَ عَلَيْهِ تَوَكَّلْتُ وَهُوَ رَبُّ الْعَرْشِ الْعَظِيمِ. So in terms of emphasis, what Sana palimpsest carries in terms of articulation, it is much more better than the Cairo one.
Hmm.
So this is what I can see, that Sana palimpsest is better here.
Actually, do you know what's interesting at this point is
Mhm.
the fact that it isn't a clear-cut case between both versions. Sometimes the
Mhm.
Sana is better in some contexts, and sometimes the Cairo is
Yes,
better.
yes,
And
yes,
that's
correct.
interesting. Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
correct. Because before when I did not started to look into this content, so I had impression that there is always correct thing is after the correction of the oldest version. But sometimes I find that the older version, they do carry something very meaningful which has been changed in the later version.
Yeah.
So that's why it keeps in both of them. So slide number 35, we are not talking about 1525. So it says Hakim and La Hakim. So I would say Cairo edition is the correct one. There is no reason to add the word al in the specific verse, because it wise is only correct. The wise, it is not required here. So Cairo edition, I would say, is the correct one, but it doesn't changes the things much. So 36 slide, and we're talking about 1530. Let me open the verse. It says angel uh, became those who prostrated all together, and it says angels prostrated all together. فَسَجَدَ الْمَلَائِكَةُ كُلُّهُمْ أَجْمَعُونَ. So Cairo edition here, it says that there is a grammatical correction they have done, but I would say you can seek a second opinion on that as well from some other Arabic knowing person, because if I can see the whole sentence from the previous verses, it says فَإِذَا سَوَّيْتُهُ وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي فَقَعُوا لَهُ سَاجِدِينَ فَسَجَدَ الْمَلَائِكَةُ كُلُّهُمْ أجمعون. So I would say that Cairo edition is better than the Sana one, but you can take a second opinion on that. My inclination is that Ajmaun is the correct one. Ajmain is not correct in the context. So slide number 37 of 1548. Let me open 48. So it says nasab, and it says min nasab. So no fatigue will ever touch them there in heaven. And Sana says that not any of fatigues will ever touch them therein. So Cairo edition seems conceptually correct, and the Sana says does not seem correct.
Yeah.
Because if you're talking about heaven, so in heaven you cannot say that like there are a lot of fatigues as well, but nothing will reach you. But it should say that there is no pain or fatigue altogether in the heaven.
Yes.
So you cannot
Yeah.
say that not any of the fatigue will touch you. It means that fatigue or pain is there in heaven, so it does not seems correct to me. So
Yeah.
Cairo edition, they have removed the word min, so that seems like they know about it and they have corrected that one.
Yeah, it's an improvement, certainly.
Yeah, it's an improvement to make it that it doesn't make sense to add the word min. So 1554, slide number 38, we're talking about.
Yeah. Fabima.
So it says, yes, it's only a scribal issue, I would say. It's not a big deal. It says, قَالَ بَشَرْتُمُونِي فَبِمَا تُبْشِرُونَ. So translation, if someone is reading the verse, just listening to the verse, so he cannot tell that there is the word alif is there after meme, or there is no alif after that meme. So what he will perceive, I would say, in terms of written, the Cairo edition is conceptually correct, and the Sana edition, it is a scribal error, I would say. It's a scribal error to add the word alif over there, because otherwise it will change the meaning, and the meaning will be changed in a way that it will not make any sense. So reciter will not be doing anything that doesn't make any sense. It seems like it's a scribal error. He does not mean to do anything, because on the listening, fabima or fabima with the alif or without alif, it does not sound different at all.
Yeah.
So who knows Arabic, so in his mind he will not be putting the alif over there. Rather than he will say fabima tubshirun. For what reason you are giving me the glad tidings? So he will take the word fabima altogether. So it's a scribal error, I would say. It's not a big deal.
That's a very interesting one. Thank you.
Okay. 39 slide 1565. Let me find the word 65. Yep. فأصر بأهلك بقطع من الليل واتبع أدبارهم ولا يلتفت منكم أحد وامضوا حيث تؤمرون. So Sana palimpsest is grammatically incorrect. It's totally wrong. Total wrong. Because ta'murun means you are giving commandment. And Cairo edition says tu'marun, you are being commanded. So in the whole context of the verse, I would say is that ta'murun is good and tu'marun is correct and ta'murun is wrong. So Cairo edition here is a grammatical correction.
Yeah, yeah.
So slide 40 and verse number 1915. Just let me go here. It says Salamun alayh and alayhi salam. Cairo edition is grammatically correct because in the whole sentence you cannot say alayhi salam wa wulida yawma yamutu wa yawma yub'asu hayya. So it will not be grammatically correct. For salamun alayh yawma wulida wa yawma yamutu, it is grammatically correct. So Cairo edition is a corrected version here.
Ah, okay.
Slide 41, 1916, chapter 19, verse number 16. It says, Uskur fil kitab, do mention in the book. Uzkur fil kitab, mentioned in the book. So I would say once again the Cairo edition is grammatically correct, but in the Hafs version, it is not even Uzkur, it is Vazkur.
Hmm.
So Cairo edition here, it's not aligned with Hafs even. So the
Yeah.
Quran I have, it says the Vaskur fil kitab Maryam. So it is not Uzkur fil kitab Maryam, but it grammatically Sana palimpsest is incorrect and the Cairo one is the corrected one.
Yeah.
Slide 42, chapter 19, verse number 23. It says Qabla Haza or it says Qabla Hazal Yawm. I would say that in the whole sentence, both are correct. Both are from grammatically and Arabic linguistic, both are correct. But if I have to choose out of it, so I will choose the Sana palimpsest because here Maryam is emphasizing like he is mentioning to some day. He's saying that this is a very tough day for me. So
It's
I
more
would say that
specific.
Sana, yes, it's Sana palimpsest makes more sense because otherwise, if you will say only like قال يا ليت مت قبل هذا وكنت نسيا منسيا. So someone can take the interpretation that the Maryam is saying that before God could would be putting me in a specific examination, I should have died before that. Why God is doing this to me? But when it says qabla hazal yawm, so it specifies that he is saying something about the specific event going on that day. He is not complaining on the God, but the situation on that day. So on that reason, I will tend to agree with Sana palimpsest more, but both of them are correct. So slide 43, 1942, it says La yubsiru wa la yughni, can neither hear nor see nor benefit you in any way. Here it is the word vamala yuvni. So the la is totally takes a sentence off from its sense. It is not required at all. So it adds up a grammatical mistake. The Cairo one is a better one because when you have added here la yubsiru wa la yuvni. So when you're saying la yubsiru vama la yuvni, so it will make the sentence like can neither hear nor see that nor benefit you. So why you're adding the word that here? So I would say the Cairo edition is a corrected one. So they have deleted the words ma here.
Yeah.
Slide 44 and let me go to the 2418. Okay, it says yubayyinu Allah lakumul ayah wallahu alimun hakim. And it says yubayyinu Allahu lakum. God explain the verses to you, God explains you. So I would say Cairo text is a better one in terms of articulation, because if it is supposed to be a manuscript, a holy manuscript, so Cairo edition is a better one. If it is just a normal book you are writing about, which no one you want to expect understand something clearly, then Sana palimpsest will be okay, because God explains you automatically. What explains you? Explains you what? So it should be some verses or something like that. So Cairo edition is something a better articulation than the Sana palimpsest. Slide 45, so 24, 22. It says Al Qurba, and in the Sana palimpsest there is Alif after Al Qurba. Again, I would say it is a scribal error. It is not a grammatical mistake. It is not a correction or not changing of any distorting of argument. It is a scribal error, because if you are writing Al Qurba with a Ya, so it means relatives. But if you are writing Al Qurba with Alif after Qurba, so it means near. If you see the whole sentence, so there is no reason for the reciter to understand that the word near can be fit in this whole sentence. Reciter definitely means to say relatives, but in the written he has made a mistake by adding the alif over there.
Yeah.
So I would say it's a scribal error, because anyone who is understanding the Arabic, when you say al qurba wal masakin wal muhajirin fi sabilillah, so no one will interpret the word qurba as a nearness. Everyone will understand it is talking about relatives. So when you see in the written, so I would say Sana palimpsest is a scribal error.
Fantastic.
Slide 46, and we go to chapter 24, 23. It says, Inna allazina yarmuna al-muhsanat wallazina yarmuna al-muhsan. So here I would say it will change the things all together in the context even. It says, the slander the innocent women, and it makes the people who slander the innocent men. So
Wow.
men are not in discussion over there. Muhsan, it does not fit in the context even. So I will tend to agree, because any reciter who is writing that this is not man, woman, this is a man. So I would say that he's not in his senses, that he's
Yeah.
writing that men are being slandered in this whole context. So I would say that maybe something might be removed, or might be distorted, or scribal error. I will tend to agree that it is a scribal error, because no one in his senses he can say that the people who are slandering the innocent men, no one can say that. So the Mohsen word does not fits in the context, so seems a typo error from the reciter. So consider men. So Cairo edition is the corrected version here.
Yeah.
Again, 24, 24, it says Al-Sinatahum or Afwahihim. So once again, uh, I would say that Sana palimpsest here, Afwahihim, is a better option than Al-Sinatihim, because Afwahihim, it more relates to like a group of people is saying something, spreading all the way, and they are believing in something in terms of rumors. But in Al-Sinatihim, it is something a different sense which does not fits in the context. But overall sense remains the same. If I have to choose, I will choose the word of the Sana palimpsest. Afwahihim is a better option. So it's only a matter of choosing the words. It is not grammatical or other correction. It's only the personal choice.
Yeah.
24, 24, again it says ya'malun, yaksibun. So once again they are synonyms. It will not make any difference.
Yeah.
So
So
slide
yeah.
49, 24, 26. Here I would say the order is changed. What tayyibatu lit tayyibina, what tayyibuna lit tayyibat. So in Sana palimpsest it says وَالطَّيِّبُونَ لِلطَّيِّبَاتِ وَالطَّيِّبَاتُ لِلطَّيِّبِينَ. So it only changes the order of the verse, which obviously you can say makes a whole in the perfect preservation. But grammatically, both sentences are correct.
Um,
Okay, okay. So I'm saying that in the Cairo edition or the Sana palimpsest, I will tend to agree with the Cairo edition. The matter is only about the articulation of the sentence in the Sana palimpsest, they have reversed the order. But if you see in the specific verses, so the order which is mentioned in the Cairo edition is a better one. So only they
Yeah.
have reversed the order here: the good women for the good men, and they said the good men for the good women, and all the way it is 180 degrees. Just reverse the order of the verses. The rest
Yeah,
is okay.
it makes better sense. I can see that. Yeah, very good.
Slide
50.
50, we are now 24, 27 we are talking about. It says, تستأنس وتسلم على أهلها. Here I would say that some Islamic rulings will be changed, because based on this verse, uh, we as a Muslim family, we have a practice that whenever we enter the home, we have to greet the family members by saying assalamu alaikum. And but here in the Sana poem says it doesn't mention that you have to greet your family members when you're entering the home. In some Muslim family, even they are practicing up to the extent that if there is no one in the house till they are greeting the vacant house, even that is ridiculous. But here the word tusallimu ala ahliha, it is not mentioned in the Sana palimpsest. So it changes the Islamic rulings as well, which is not obviously a mandatory, but as a recommendation, as a good
Yeah.
recommendation. It originates from this verse, which is missing in the Sana palimpsest.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So 24, 28, it says, pure, righteous for you and Allah, better for you. So azka lakum, or if you say khairul lakum, I would say uh, both of them are correct. Both of them are correct. It is perception of the reciter that he is picking up the word khairul lakum in Allah. Once again, Sana Polim says it has more expressions of emphasis which are missing in the Cairo edition. So Cairo edition, it opts the word azka, which means a purer form. And the Sana Polim says he opts the word khairul lakum, that it's better for you, it's a khair for you. So it's again does not change the argument. It just doesn't impact any theological matters, but it's only about the choice of the word itself.
Yeah.
Uh, Slide 52, 24, 29. Wallahu ya'lam and inna Allah ya'lam. Once again, the reciter of Sana Polim says he's more excited in adding up the emphasis that
Yeah.
indeed Allah knows, and the Cairo edition says and Allah knows.
Yeah.
Slide 53, it says inna Allah khabir or inna Allah ya'lam. So I would say that in terms of manuscript body language, khabir is a better word rather than saying ya'lam. I would tend to say that khabir is a better word. So Cairo edition, they have opted a different word, and Sana palimpsest, they have opted a different word altogether. But meaning somewhere it remains the same. But the Cairo edition is better. It says, "Inna Allah khabirum bima yasnaun." So Sana palimpsest, it will become Inna Allah ya'lam bima yasnaun. So I would say that no, Sana palimpsest is not a good sentence. Cairo one is the corrected version of that. They have corrected that one. So slide 54, 24, 33, we are talking about slide number 54. And give them from the wealth which Allah has given you. In the Sana palimpsest, it says, and give them from the wealth which Allah has given you. So meaning is same, but I would say they have re-articulated with different words. It says razakakumullah, or it's in the Cairo edition it says minallahi atakum. So it's a different sentence, it's a different words, but but the sense remains the same. Sense
It's
remains the same, but it's a different words, totally different words.
it se-
Razaqakumullah is a different thing, and atakum is a different word.
it seems the focus really is on conveying the gist of the meaning rather than the actual what the words are. It's interesting.
Yes, correct, correct. And if you go in the hadith as well, uh, I would say that these things are under discussion in the hadith as well. The Prophet was asked that can I substitute the meaning, keeping the same gist and all those things. So he allowed that one by
Yeah.
saying that you should not change the meaning to that extent that the punishment becomes a blessing or the blessings become a punishment. So such hadiths are there in the literature of Islam, and I can see that one. It's happening here as well. So 2435. Okay, it's a al misbah wal misbah. So I would say that Cairo is a better one because there is no reason to add the word va, because it's Allahu nuru samawati wal ardi masaluhu nurihi kamishkatin fiha misbah al misbahu fi zujaj. So why you will add the word va here? Wal misbahu fil zujaj. There is no word to add an expression of explanation. You do not need here to add here. So that's why I will say that the Cairo one is the better one. This is the corrected one.
Yeah.
Because in Arabic the word va is not always you can say that it is translated as the English and, but it is an explanation also. Like in other Quran you will say, it says La taqrabu salat wa antum sukara. If you take the word as and, it will say that do not go near to the prayer and you are drunk or you have taking some something like that. So it is not saying and, it is saying do not go near to the to the prayer in a state of being drunk. So the word va is not always translated as and, but it is a note of explanation
Yeah.
and connecting word. So there is no need to add wal misbah, it should be al misbah. So Cairo edition is the corrected one, I would say.
Yeah.
So 56, it says 2435, the same verse, walaulam, and even if no fire has touched that. Fine. It says min qabli, before that no fire has touched that. Let me read the verse. Yes, it says walau lam tamassashu nar nurun ala nur yahdi Allahu li nurihi man yasha wa yadribu Allahu amsalu linnas. Here I would say Sana palimpsest, it is totally out of the sense. It is totally doesn't make any sense in the sentence that min qabli, before that no fire has touched that one. It does not make any sense. Cairo one is the corrected statement, I would say. Sana palimpsest is a totally wrong. You cannot fit in that one. Min qabli tamassas hunar. So it is not a matter of before that no fire has touched that one. Rather than the explanation example is being given that even if no fire has touched that one, it will give the light and it will give the fire and all those examples. So Cairo is correct and Sana is totally incorrect here. Slide 57, 24, 38. It says وَيَزِيدُهُمْ an alif and Allah will increase them and He will increase them. So it doesn't make that much difference here as well. It doesn't make that much difference because لِيَجْزِيَ اللَّهُ أَحْسَنُ مَا عَمِلُوا وَيَزِيدَهُم مِّن فَضْلِهِ وَاللَّهُ يَرْزُقُ مَن يَشَاءُ. So in Hafs also, in Hafs as well, there is alif before the word yaziduhum. In Hafs as well, there is alif. But I would say that the word alif here, it is totally silent. It is not adding into any recitation. Like you cannot read even if you read the sentence. So if you try to read the alif, you cannot read it. It is totally silent. You can take it out without any hesitation, and it will not make any difference to the recitation. Yeah, you can take it. It's a silent one.
Yeah.
Slide 58, 25. 19. Let me go to 25, 19. So it says, Ma tastati'unna, so you can neither. So it says, so you can neither for you. So in Huff's test, it is adding an additional word of famastati'unna. So let me open the words. I will read the complete 25, 19. The complete sentence is فَقَدْ كَذَّبُوكُمْ بِمَا تَقُولُونَ فَمَا اسْتَطِيعُونَ صَرْفًا وَلَا نَصْرًا. So I would say that in both of the sentences, Sana and the Cairo, both are not the best option. Hafs text is the better one out of them because it adds the word fa as well. فَمَسْتَطِيعُونَ. So that will be, Hafs will be better than that. So
yeah, I'm curious.
So adding the words laka also is not making any sense here. You cannot add that one.
Yeah, I'm curious
Because
why
it's,
the
yeah.
I'm curious
Please.
why the Cairo edition is different to your Hafs edition, because the Cairo is a Hafs. Is it a different Hafs or something? Must be.
It can be that if you have copied it from the Cairo edition, maybe it can be a matter of Cairo copying from the Cairo edition as well. Maybe it is there for mastati'un, or you might have copied mastati'un. You might have missed to copy the fa as well. So if I get to know that one, I will check in the Cairo as well, that why it is different from the hubs as well. Is it a matter of copying, or it is really different over there? That I have to check.
Yeah. 59.
So slide 59, 25, 21. So it says, those who do not expect to meet us, yani Allah, those who disbelieve do not expect to meet us. I would say he is adding some وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ لَا يَرْجُونَ لِقَاءَنَا أُنزِلَ عَلَيْنَا الْمَلَائِكَةُ أَوْ نَرَى رَبَّنَا. So still I would say Sana palimpsest is a better expression of the whole sentence. Like it adds something additional words that those who disbelieve and do not expect to meet us. So Sana palimpsest, I would say, it's a better expression. But Cairo edition is a correct itself in form of Arabic, but it is some explanatory and it is something comprehensive.
Yeah.
So slide 60, 25, 22, it says yaqulun, and it says Sana palimpsest says qalu. So if I read the whole sentence, يوم يرون الملائكة لا بشرى يومئذ للمجرمين ويقولون حجرا مهجورا. And you take the Sana palimpsest, it says يوم يرون الملائكة لا بشرى يومئذ للمجرمين وقالوا حجرا محجورا. So I would say Cairo is better one. Qalu is not a good choice of word for this one, because it says that they said, and yaqulun, they will be saying. So it makes more sense in the whole sentence, like it's talking about the day of judgment, that when they are going to see the angels, so the criminals or the disbeliever will have going to have a very bad day, and they will be like saying about this thing that we seek forgiveness from this whole scenario, something like that. So yaqulun is a better word instead of qalu. So I will incline with the Cairo in this one.
Yeah.
Here 3351 it says taqarra a'yunuhunna, that they will be comforted, and it says taqarna uyunahunna, that we comfort them. So I would say that in the whole sentence, Sana palimpsest does not make sense here. Cairo edition is a better articulation of the whole scenario. But here I put a note here that you need to double check this point. But to me, Cairo text fits the context better one and the corrected one, because Takarna, we are comforting their eyes or their hearts and their feelings. So it does not, you cannot put these words in the words itself. It will become grammatically wrong if you put it in whole the sentence. So takarra a'yunuhunna, that is better sentence grammatically. But you can double check this point.
Yeah, I think that's
So
just
61,
there.
we are done now with 61 slides. Any reflection from your side, comments?
Yeah, let's go back to the chat now. See you next time, guys. With Outside Justice Not. Hope you come back. I wonder, did people have a problem seeing the slides?
Okay. There is
Ah,
one comment is there that Arabic grammar is created after the original Quran. This is something very interesting topic, I would say. And what I have searched, I have seen the research papers from Dr. Ahmad Jallad as well. I have seen the Sephardic and Harrat rock inscriptions as well. And I have researched the Quran itself. And I would say my point of view in today's date is that the Quran itself is not in the Arabic language itself, rather than it is a explanation of the Aramaic language, and Quran himself is talking about the same thing when it says that we are kazalika nufassilul ayati liqaumin yaqilun, or it says that anzalnahu qur'anan arabiyyan la'allakum taqilun. So Arabi and details is the synonym in the language of Quran itself. So that's why it's happening that it picks up the Aramaic language broken letters like kaf, ha, ya, ain, sad, and then it starts detailing about those broken letters of Aramaic itself. So that's the reason that Arabic language is evolving with the passage of time. And within the Quran commentaries, you will find this thing that Arabic is synonym for the word detail, and the Ajami, which refers to the Aramaic in the Quran, that is a shorter version and the ancient mother language of the Arabic. So they are traveling from north to south. So the language is evolving as well. So that's why in the today's if you just move around in the Arabia, so no one speaks that language at all. There was one research paper from Abdullah Nadwi. He's an Egyptian scholar. He's submitted on the dialects of Quran, and he was doing a survey in the whole Arabia that to which of the tribe the dialect of the Quran corresponds to, and he was not satisfied with either of them. So I would say it originates from the north and then travels to the south. That's why they have to constantly evolve the Arabic grammar of the Quran itself. So
yeah,
it is written later on. It is written later on uh, in the Harufi Abjad, which you call as the Arabic script. But itself, the language is it's not exactly the Arabic. It is something different language.
yeah. Just want to apologize to our audience because unfortunately the slides didn't show. I don't know why, because I hit the share button and I don't know what I did wrong there. So that's a bit disappointing. So what I will do, Ibn, is I'm going to re-upload this video. I will edit it for
No
everyone,
problem.
and I
Okay.
will put the slides. So we'll have the voice over and so on. So hopefully
Okay.
it will be nice and neat when we re-upload it. And apologies to everyone. And yes, I do agree. It's a pity I don't have two screens so I can check these things out. So that's a shame. But that's the problem with doing things live. You know, sometimes they don't go to plan. But
Yep.
Ibn, we must link up again because I'm sure you have a lot to share with us from all your travels and your
Yep. Correct.
exploration over the next,
Yep.
over the 15 years that you were going around exploring the origins of Islam. I think you'll have a load of things to share with us, and that'd be great if you have the time to come back to
Yes.
this.
Yeah. Sure. With time to time, I'll be keep sharing with you. So exactly the geography and all those things, they have a lot of issues. So that's why when you see on the evolution, it's evolving with the passage of time in the rock inscriptions as well, in the landmarks, in the Quran itself. So that's why that made me like lose the trust on that one. That whatever we are being told since childhood, that does not you cannot reflect that one on ground. And on the present day, Makkah as well, I have some other findings as well, which I do not see that you, Fadi, or Jay Smith are talking about that one. I did not find you talking about that, but I have
Oh,
some other point of view that I have some other point of view that at the time when you're talking about that the present day Makkah is not the original one, it was there way up in the north. Then what is the point of view? Like what was there at the time of the Prophet in the present day Makkah? What was happening here?
yeah,
So that's my point of view. We will discuss it differently. I believe that yes, it was something was there, and what was there, it is the change of qibla is there in the ahadith as well. In the authentic Sahih ahadith, it is mentioned there that the qibla is going to be changed after his death. So I will discuss that one separately with you because I
yeah,
have researched the Arabic papers, research papers
yeah,
from the Arabic archaeologist because I know Arabic to some extent, so I can approach that material. And I
yeah.
had some serious findings on that, that from where this present day Kaaba is coming out of. So
Fantastic.
so I will discuss that one in some other stream. So because I want this stream to be totally for your slides.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, Ibn, thank you so much for joining with us today. And apologies again to our audience. I will re-upload this. I will edit it. I will probably release it again tomorrow with all the slides showing. So hopefully it'll be perfect next time. So apologies to everyone. Thank you, Ibn, and we'll talk to you very soon.
Okay, thank you, man, for having me on board and giving the opportunity to share my experiences. I am really glad and humbled for that. Thank you so much, and thank you for all for listening to me. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Cheers. Bye bye.
Okay, take care. Bye bye.